Imagine, just for a second, that every challenge you face, each worry, every moment of doubt, isn't simply something to defeat, but rather a signpost directing you to your true calling. What if the very feelings you've tried to push aside, silence, or deny are actually clues to who you really are and what you were born to do? Today, we're diving into one of the most eye-opening ideas in both psychology and philosophy, Carl Jung's concept of the shadow. This isn't theory for the sake of theory. It's a doorway into deep revelations that can genuinely change the course of your life. By the time we reach the end of this video, you'll not only grasp what the shadow is, but you'll see how it holds the key to your purpose, your hidden strengths, and the freedom you crave. And trust me, the ultimate insight waiting for you at the finale is nothing short of life-altering. Stay with me, because each section builds on the last to guide you ever closer to that final revelation. Carl Jung, a trailblazer in depth psychology, described the shadow as the part of our psyche we've disowned. Traits, desires, and impulses we label as unacceptable or embarrassing. Paradoxically, he argued, this very shadow harbors the seeds of our greatest capabilities and the blueprint for a deeply satisfying existence. Think about it. How often do you avoid certain thoughts or behaviors simply because they make you uneasy? How frequently do you harshly judge others for qualities you secretly see in yourself? If you've ever felt a sudden surge of irritation towards someone's actions, chances are they've tapped into a piece of your own hidden self. As Jung so poignantly wrote, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But the shadow isn't only about darkness, it's about untapped potential. It's the energy we shove out of sight because we're frightened or ashamed to confront it. Right now, pause and ask yourself, are there aspects of your personality you hide from the world, or even from yourself? Perhaps it's a paralyzing fear of failing, a simmering anger, or a persistent envy. Maybe there's a passion you've dismissed as unrealistic or improper. What if those flaws weren't mistakes to eliminate, but messages waiting to be deciphered? Jung believed that facing our shadow and weaving it into our conscious identity leads to a process he called individuation, a journey toward wholeness. It's not a stroll in the park. It demands courage, radical honesty, and the willingness to step into the unknown. Yet the payoff is immeasurable. In mythic tales, every hero confronts both external foes and inner demons, Hercules battling his own rage as fiercely as the Nemean lion, or Luke Skywalker wrestling with the dark side before he can fulfill his destiny as a Jedi. These epic narratives mirror our personal psychological quests. So let me ask you, are you ready to face the parts of yourself you've long evaded? Are you prepared to ask, what lesson does my shadow offer me? Jung's philosophy teaches that the shadow isn't an adversary but a guide. It speaks to us through recurrent dreams, gut-wrenching fears, and the relationships we struggle with. Have you ever had a dream you couldn't shake, or felt inexplicably drawn to an idea or another person? These could be whispers from your shadow urging you to pay attention. The first step in working with your shadow is awareness. Notice when your reactions feel out of proportion. Those moments are signposts pointing toward the hidden facets of your being. Once identified, the next step is acceptance. This doesn't mean acting on every impulse. It means acknowledging these parts of yourself without self-judgment and understanding what role they play in your life. Imagine the liberation of no longer fearing your weaknesses, but instead viewing them as catalysts for growth. Picture the confidence and authenticity you'd gain by embracing your entire self. In the following sections, we'll break down practical strategies for recognizing and integrating your shadow, transforming what once felt like darkness into your greatest source of illumination, and ultimately guiding you to your life's true purpose. Now let's journey further into the hidden realm of the shadow and see how it quietly shapes every aspect of our existence. The shadow doesn't lurk only in grand psychological dramas. It appears in the small, everyday moments. The habits you can't seem to break, the relationships that repeatedly frustrate you, even the sudden outbursts of emotion that leave you wondering, why did I react like that? Those moments when feeling overwhelms reasoning are actually your shadow stepping into view. Why does it wield such power? Jung taught that every trait we deny or push away grows stronger beneath the surface, like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The more you force it down, the more violently it resurfaces. Imagine if instead of drowning those parts of yourself, you brought them gently into the light. How much more agency would you feel over your thoughts, your choices, your destiny? A key doorway into your shadow is projection. When you refuse to own certain impulses, say, a need for recognition or a flash of envy, you'll often see those very qualities everywhere else. You might catch yourself criticizing someone for being arrogant, only to realize later that it was your own insecurity speaking. Jung's words cut to the chase. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. So pause and ask, who in your life sets off a strong emotional reaction? Maybe a coworker whose comments feel like a personal attack, or a partner whose mood swings unsettle you. Instead of blaming them, turn the lens inward. What is this reaction telling me about my own hidden self? Each projection is a message, an invitation to reclaim a piece of you that's been left in shadow. But the shadow isn't just about what's wrong. It's also about what's waiting to be gained. Often, the very parts of us we suppress hold the key to our deepest passions and unique gifts. Someone who forces down creative impulses out of fear of failure may discover that embracing that creative spark becomes their life's work. Jung believed that purpose isn't lurking out there somewhere. It's born from the harmony of your conscious self and your shadow. To begin this alignment, start with self-inquiry. Ask yourself, what scares me most about who I am? Which traits have I been taught to see as unacceptable? What talents or dreams have I abandoned because they felt too unrealistic? Write these questions down and dwell on your honest answers. You may be surprised at the insights that surface when you give your shadow permission to speak. Journaling offers a direct line into the unconscious. Jung himself meticulously recorded his dreams and reflections, treating his notebooks as maps to his inner world. Dreams often dramatize the shadow in symbolic form: a lurking figure, a transforming animal, a dramatic event. Note recurring themes or striking images, then ask, what might my psyche be trying to reveal? Integration can be likened to a painter's palette. A painting composed of only bright colors can be pleasant but flat. It's the dark tones that create depth, contrast, and impact. When you allow your shadow to mix with your conscious strengths, you gain a richer, more authentic self-portrait. This doesn't mean acting out every forbidden impulse. It means understanding the role each aspect plays and channeling their energy constructively. As you weave shadow material into your daily life, you'll notice a shift in your relationships. Those recurring conflicts, the same arguments that seem to replay on loop, often mirror unresolved shadow dynamics. Instead of blaming the other person, ask, what is this friction teaching me about my own hidden patterns? Transforming conflict into self-awareness not only heals you, but also builds empathy and stronger connections. Creativity, too, blossoms when you reclaim suppressed energy. That anger you've kept buried could become fuel for meaningful activism. The longing for attention you've denied yourself could ignite powerful storytelling or performance. Think of Frida Kahlo's unflinching self-portraits, or Martin Luther King Jr.'s righteous indignation turned into a movement. Both drew on their deepest wounds to create something that touched millions. Reflect for a moment. What projects or passions have you shelved because they felt too risky, or because you feared judgment? Those may be the clearest signs of where your true gifts lie. As you continue this practice, spotting triggers, journaling, and intentionally inviting your shadow into conversation, you'll reclaim energy that was once spent hiding parts of yourself and redirect it toward living with genuine purpose. This path isn't a one-and-done ritual. It's an ongoing dialogue with your inner world. Each day offers fresh opportunities to notice when you shrink from your full potential and to choose authenticity instead. In the next section, we'll dive into concrete exercises for daily shadow work. Practices that will help you transform what feels like inner darkness into your most illuminating source of power. Now that you've moved beyond understanding what the shadow is and how it shapes your reactions, it's time to bring this knowledge into your everyday life. Shadow work isn't a one-off realization, but a series of simple, deliberate habits that help you surface hidden aspects of yourself and transform their energy into conscious choices. Each morning, before you dive into the day's demands, pause for a moment. Close your eyes, inhale deeply 3 times, and simply ask yourself what emotion you're carrying into the hours ahead. Naming that feeling, whether it's excitement, dread, or even resentment, pulls it out of the shadows and gives you the power to decide how to respond. As the day unfolds, keep a small notebook or digital file handy for recording any time your response feels outsized. A sharp pang of anger at a friend's remark, a twinge of envy when a colleague shines, or a flush of shame at a personal misstep. Note what happened, how your body and mind reacted, and then reflect on what this might reveal about the part of your shadow that's speaking up. Over time, these entries will illuminate recurring themes, perhaps a deep need for approval, an unrecognized talent, or an old wound that still stings. Set aside a quiet moment once a week to truly dialogue with these hidden parts. Imagine you're sitting face to face with your shadow, asking it why it shows up as anger, jealousy, or self-criticism, and what it's trying to protect you from. Write down the answers, speaking in the shadow's voice. You may hear that it craves safety, recognition, or simply acknowledgement. This conversation turns vague fears into clear messages you can work with. Don't underestimate the power of creativity to draw shadow material into the light. Whether it's writing a poem, sketching, dancing, or playing music, commit to a creative session at least once a week. Leave perfection behind and let your unconscious guide you. A burst of red on the canvas might express buried anger, while a rhyme could reveal a dormant longing. Through honest creation, you tap directly into those hidden energies and give them form and meaning. Remember that unprocessed emotions also reside in your body, in tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, or a hollow feeling in the pit of your stomach. Midday, pause and run a slow scan from head to toe. Wherever you sense tension or discomfort, rest your hand there and breathe deeply. A simple acknowledgement of these sensations begins to integrate the mind's insights with the body's wisdom. At night, invite your unconscious to speak through dreams. Before sleep, tell yourself you're open to any messages it wants to share. Then keep a notebook at your bedside. Even if you recall only fleeting fragments, a color, a sound, the feeling of falling, write them down immediately. Over weeks, patterns will emerge, a recurring corridor, a mysterious guide, a long-forgotten event. Research their archetypal meanings or trust your gut to interpret what your psyche reveals. Integration doesn't happen in an instant. It's a slow dance between awareness and acceptance. Over time, what once felt foreign becomes familiar, and what once frightened you becomes a source of strength. Connection with others also offers a mirror to your shadow. Once a month, share a recent trigger entry with a trusted friend, partner, or coach. Ask them what they notice in your description. Their observations can spotlight blind spots, traits you deny in yourself, but that they clearly perceive. Approach their feedback with curiosity rather than defensiveness, and you'll accelerate your self-discovery. Finally, at the end of each week, review your notes and dialogues. Choose one theme: perfectionism, people-pleasing, hidden rage, and create a simple ritual to honor it. Light a candle, speak aloud your acknowledgement. I see my need to be perfect. Thank you for protecting me. Then gently extinguish the flame as a symbol of acceptance and release. This weekly rite anchors your progress and reminds you that integration is both intentional and ongoing. By weaving these practices into your life, shadow work becomes more than an abstract idea. It becomes a daily journey of self-reclamation. You'll notice that moments of tension transform into invitations for deeper understanding, and what once felt like shame or envy evolves into newfound strength and compassion. Rather than fearing your shadow, you'll come to trust it as a faithful guide, pointing you toward untapped potential and genuine freedom. As you carry on, pay attention to how your choices shift. Projects you once deemed too bold will begin to excite you, and relationships that sparked conflict will deepen as your self-awareness grows. You'll start to act from a place of alignment, where conscious goals and unconscious wisdom move in harmony. This is the essence of true liberation, living with full knowledge of who you are, both light and dark. We've traveled a long road together, first uncovering what the shadow is, then learning to spot its influence in our daily lives, and practicing concrete ways to bring those hidden parts into the light. Now, at last, we arrive at the most profound revelation of all, the moment when shadow work ceases to be a tricky psychological exercise and becomes the very compass that guides you toward your destiny. Here's the ultimate insight: your shadow is not just a collection of repressed fears and impulses. It is the sacred gateway to your deepest purpose. Every fragment of yourself you've shoved out of sight, every uncomfortable urge you've denied, contains a spark of truth about what only you can offer the world. When you finally allow that spark to ignite, it doesn't merely enrich your own life. It sets off a chain reaction that transforms everything around you. Imagine a musician who has feared their own raw vulnerability, afraid that sharing a piece of their soul would be met with rejection. Once they embrace the trembling, hesitant voice inside, once they see this vulnerability not as a weakness, but as the source of authenticity, they write songs that resonate with millions, healing strangers with the same wounds they once hid. Or picture a leader who has buried their ambition under layers of humility, convinced that wanting recognition was selfish. When they reclaim that ambition and channel it ethically, they galvanize entire communities to strive for justice and innovation. This is the ripple effect of shadow integration. Your personal transformation becomes a beacon for others. Each fear faced, each hidden talent acknowledged, is like releasing a pebble into a still pond. Waves of courage, creativity, and compassion spread outward, touching people you may never meet. Jung called this interplay the collective unconscious, the invisible web connecting every human being. By honoring your own inner world, you enrich that collective tapestry, giving others permission to do the same. Understanding this changes everything. No longer is your purpose a vague notion of helping people or making money. Your purpose is woven from the unique pattern of light and dark that only you possess. It's the synthesis of your bravest dreams and your most daunting fears. It's that talent you once thought too bizarre, the urge you were ashamed to admit, the passion you believed was impractical. When you integrate these elements, you become not just someone who lives, you become someone who inspires, someone whose very existence shifts the culture around you. But how do you step into this role of conscious catalyst? It starts with a ritual of courageous confession. Choose one aspect of your shadow, the one that most scares you to acknowledge, and make a deliberate gesture of sharing. It could be a short video where you talk about a mistake you made and what it taught you, a post in which you express a hidden dream, or a conversation where you admit a strength you've kept to yourself. Notice how your voice may shake, how your heart races, but also how deeply others lean in to listen. This act of vulnerability is the linchpin that unlocks your power. Next, let your creative expression become a living testament to your integrated self. If you're a writer, weave your shadow into the characters you create. Give them the conflicts you've overcome and the insights you've gained. If you're an entrepreneur, let your brand story include the moments of doubt you survived and the unexpected strengths you discovered. By doing so, you offer your audience not just content, but an invitation. Here is a part of my journey. If I can do it, so can you. That invitation can spark someone else's journey toward wholeness. Finally, measure success not by external accolades, but by the depth of your alignment. Notice when projects that once felt draining now energize you. Observe how relationships shift when you bring your whole self to the table. Conversations become more honest, collaborations more creative, conflicts more tender. Recognize that every time you choose authenticity over denial, you reinforce the pattern. You reward your shadow with acknowledgement, and your shadow rewards you with insight, courage, and connection. And so, dear viewer, the greatest truth of shadow work emerges. It is both the path and the destination. By embracing your darkness, you don't escape it. You transcend it, weaving it into a tapestry of purpose that radiates outward. You become the person you were always meant to be. Whole, resonant, and alive with meaning. As we close this exploration, I invite you to take one tangible step right now. Pause this video, take a deep breath, and jot down the one part of yourself you've been most reluctant to face. Then, commit to sharing that insight, whether in a journal entry, a message to a friend, or a comment below. Let this small act of courage mark the beginning of your lifelong journey of integration. Thank you for staying with me through every turn of this journey. If you found value in these insights, please subscribe now, so you never miss a future deep dive. And give this video a thumbs up to show your support. Drop a comment sharing your biggest takeaway or the first shadow aspect you'll embrace. Your story might be the spark that lights someone else's path. Until next time, dare to look into the hidden corners of your soul, for there you will discover the guiding light of your true purpose.